can I say? You're so wonderful. You've got this wrapped up like no problem. What was it like putting on that outfit again, and the beard and the hat, everything?
Well, it was very easy and very enjoyable, and by the time Rick Finlayton, my makeup artist, had stuck my nose on and the wig and the beard and the moustache, done a few blotches and then the pointy hat, and there we are. Gandalf was back with us. It didn't take any effort at all, really.
I'm wondering, did you ever think that you would be back in Middle Earth? Were you kind of thinking like, do I want to do this? Is there like a pros? Are there cons? What did you think?
No, Peter was adamant when we finished Lord of the Rings that he wasn't going to touch The Hobbit. He tackled the difficult book, the dangerous book, the complicated story, the long story, and that was it as far as he was concerned. And but looking back, I remember that in the last few weeks of shooting, he was taking photographs with a 3D still camera. It's all come to fruition now, isn't it?
Working with this, first of all, you've got a lot of people you're working with here. Like we've got 13 dwarves, we've got Bilbo.
Yeah.
What is that like, to kind of set the camaraderie and bring the new people on? You're the veteran here.
Well, of course, the camaraderie stretches behind the camera as well as in front of it. So, and the majority, I think, of people working on the technical side of filmmaking, the design of it and the photography and the cameras and the makeup and the costume, were the same people who had made Lord of the Rings. So they were like family, all a bit older, and just as much fun and as friendly as ever, as Kiwis are. But there was more of the cast who were new to it all. But half the dwarves are actually New Zealanders, so that was a difference. The Fellowship were entirely made up of foreigners, as far as New Zealand is concerned. So just as I was able to welcome them to Middle Earth, they were able to welcome me to their own country, and a little bit easier to establish friendships, I think, because there were some older people amongst the dwarf community than in the Fellowship, where I was older than everybody else. But instant respect and friendship, and of course there were a lot of questions. What was it like last time? What's Peter going to be like? Is he going to lose his temper? No, he's not. Well, will we work long hours? Yes, you will. Yes. Will we be called and sometimes not be used? Yes, that'll happen too. So we were able to support each other, and I never heard a bad word from any of them about the working conditions, so it wasn't easy for them with putting on all those disguises.
Yeah, and also being back with some of the other actors that were in Lord of the Rings, like Kate Blanchett and stuff, and that must have been.
Well, I hadn't met Kate really. We didn't act together before, but yeah, that was a wonderful 2 weeks when she came over with Hugo Weaving. Yes. They'd been working on stage together in Uncle Vanya. We were able to talk about Chekhov and Shakespeare and other things of mutual interest, and I think the affection that grew up is evident on the screen. I think Galadriel and Gandalf seem to be very sweet on each other.
Your impressions of Martin Freeman, wow, I thought he did such a great job. And that's a huge responsibility to play that role,
Not easy to come in and play the leading part in a world that is well established and that you've not been part of creating. And the first scene he had to do was the crucial one in Riddles with Gollum. One of the great scenes in the film, I think. It was great fun to watch his confidence grow, and he's a very accomplished actor on screen, the small screen, and indeed on stage. I was a big admirer. But there was one day towards the end of the shoot when I was behind the camera feeding him lines, and he was doing the same speech over and over again, each time quite differently, and each time quite spontaneously. And as a fellow actor, I was trying to work out, how is he doing this? How is it done? I began to realize after he'd done it about 8 times, but it took an expert watching to see that, I see, this is actually expertise I'm watching, although it appears to be absolute spontaneity. I'm full of admiration for Martin. I wrote him a fan letter at the end of that day and asked him for acting lessons, and I'm still waiting for them.
I think you guys would have fun. Very quickly, you've given us so many amazing performances over the years. When you decided to become an actor, was there anybody that you watched growing up that influenced you, or a movie or something that said, I want to do this for my living?
I didn't relate to film actors at all. Living in the north of England in the 1940s and 50s, Hollywood and films were a foreign country. But actors I did know about and saw because they worked in our town and in a company of actors who put on a different play every week. I used to go and watch these plays and enjoy them so much with my parents that I wanted to find out how it was done. How do you put a play on? And that's why I became an actor. So it was just a general experience of enjoying the theatre. I fell in love with the theatre rather than one particular person in it.